Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Going to talk about car prices, used car prices dropping drastically, and number one car will be surprising unless I put it in the title, and then you've already known it. But we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, I want to link a story, a video from the Real Estate Ninja channel. Really important, great story because it is about an investor that I just realized cannot get tenants, and these tenants are the sellers of the homes out of his properties. It's actually happened 3 times. I'm going to put a link below. Very interesting story because it's a sign of the times and something that you're going to have to navigate as you start to invest in homes that are distressed because people are losing their jobs and they are needing to sell their home, but they're not leaving. Okay, so really interesting story. I'm going to link it below. Now, we're going to talk about Tesla. Tesla, right now, used car prices have declined far more than any other brand in the last 30 to 90 days on Car Gurus. Okay, so first off, we're going to go over, I'm going to talk about other car manufacturers and how much value they're dropping in prices. And, Car Gurus has a couple of different metrics. First off, it's the asking price, right? The average asking price of a car. And you see on that application where they say these cars are a good price, they're average price, they're not a good price, things like that, right? Because they go by a handful of different metrics. But really, what Car Gurus is doing is akin to what Zillow did with Zestimates and things. They're slowly becoming the Zestimate of cars, all right? And it's because they get so much data and they're compiling so much data that they don't have to rely on much longer things, third parties like Kelley Blue Book. They can come up with their own. And that's the natural evolution of any application that can bring in tons and tons of sales data. But right now, in the 30 to last 90 days, Tesla's dropped the most. And the reason why it's important is because 30 to 90 days might not seem like a long time to be able to start getting information. But what's happening is the auto market is falling so drastically, so fast, because people just don't have the money. They do not have the money for these overpriced cars. And on top of that, the higher interest rates, and they are becoming fearful that rates are going to go higher in the future. So car sales have stopped. We've talked about in other videos what's going on with somebody I know in the industry that is seeing auctions, just no bid, no bid, no bid. The car gets up on the ramp, no bid, no bid, no bid, goes back, goes into storage. And the holding cost, the flooring cost for some of these dealers is so huge. At a certain point, they're going to have to give. But is it going to be them lowering their prices before they have to claim bankruptcy? That's the question. Now, it says used car prices are also continuing to decline in general. But what I want to do is go over a few of these numbers. So first off, let's go with Tesla. This is the number one most price drop in cars. And that right now let me go up to the top of the chart. The last 90 days and the last 30 days. Okay, so the last 90 days, Teslas have dropped 13%, a little over 13% in the last 90 days. In the last 30 days alone, now think about that, 13% in the last 30 days alone, Teslas have dropped almost 6%, 5.61%. So you're seeing the trend getting steeper and steeper and steeper. All right. Now, seasonally, we know that Christmas, the holiday season, is not the best time to buy a car. It is because they have the best sales. And the reason why they have the best sales is because not only are they trying to close out inventory and get a lot of their inventory moved, right? Reduce their flooring costs, but also dealers, new cars, they go on sale during the Christmas holidays because they want to boost their unit numbers, right? They want to be able to be the big dogs in their area against these other competing dealerships of the same brand because they get better incentives from the factory when they sell more, right? So, but used cars, by and large, are not the best sellers. They're just not the best sellers going into the fall and winter seasons. But the thing is that this is a bigger problem. We know that this is not normal, all right? It's a lot worse than just a seasonality adjustment, okay? So let's throw out some different numbers. So let's just do the 30-day drops because I think they're important, even though they're not as drastic as a 90-day because, 90 days gives you more time to drop cars. 30 days is pretty impressive. Now, I was watching what's going on at Corvette land in you guys know I like Corvettes, I like all kinds of cars, in Dallas. And they're dropping their cars about 3% a month right now. Now, that's obviously a nice car, a sports car, you can only fit 2 people in it, barely any luggage, right? So obviously very few people are going to go out and buy Corvettes as opposed to buying, you know, a grocery getter, soccer mom's van, something like that, right? That you can actually use for life. Mitsubishi right now has dropped a little over 2.5%, right around 2.5%. Jaguar, almost 3%. We're seeing Hyundai coming in at 2.4%. And on average, a lot of these cars are dropping 2% in the last 30 days. Some standouts for me right now are, let me go find it. Sorry, Bentley, 0.08% it dropped, right? And on the 90-day, the Bentleys dropped 1.5%. Obviously, Bentleys are attracting very wealthy individuals, right? So if a wealthy individual wants to buy a car, they're going to go out and buy a car and they've got the money, right? So that as opposed to, you know, the average everyday person that works, you know, a 9-to-5 job and is making a lot less money, Bentley is going to be holding its value. So that's very interesting, right? Now, what they're not showing you is the amount of sales, right? I don't have those right here in front of me, but that's telling too, because sure, Bentley might not have dropped because Bentley's going, well, this is how much we want. Come and get it. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it. But there could be crickets on the sales floor, right? So that could very well change. And I've seen luxury cars in 2008 collapse, and we're starting to see that already. I did a video about it earlier at the Ferrari dealership. Now, some impressive numbers. Again, Jaguar hitting almost 3%. But Jaguars, they're hurting already. They've got some beautiful cars, but I don't think people really like the quality of the Jaguar. In the last 30 days, Infiniti has dropped almost 2.5%. We've seen Mazda dropping 2%. Mitsubishi, I already said that, and Nissan 2%. So right now, all of these numbers, it seems like 2% may not be a lot, but on a month over month, it's pretty impressive, right? Also, these numbers do not include only new car sales. It's also including used car sales. So as the interest rates keep getting higher, inflation getting worse, we're going to see these drop more and more and more. And I believe that you're really going to start to see deals coming in February and March, especially when sellers, auto dealers, they think, hey, we're going to start seeing tax season. We're going to start seeing some rebate checks coming in, or, you know, tax return money. So let's really get aggressive with the marketing. And so I think that's going to be a pretty impressive time to buy. But you got to admit, things are really interesting. Now, another thing that I noticed, and this was off of Twitter the other day from QF Research, they said retail usually, and they're referring to cars, retail usually lags wholesale, like gas prices. Used car CPI has generally lagged Manheim. Manheim comes out with these car numbers, and they're significant losses right now. I want to say September's numbers were a drop of 10% month over month, a big drop. And the cost price index, it seems to always lag, right? Because that's historical data. And so when we're talking about car prices, you see it immediately at the auctions. You don't see it immediately at the dealers. And that's where a lot of people, they watch the videos and I'm telling them about how car prices have dropped 10% month over month. At car auctions, they're saying, it doesn't matter, I don't see it at my dealer. I said, because it takes time, that time lag of the sellers going, crap, we bought this stuff way overpriced, like what's going on with Carvana. We got to do something about it, but we can't take a loss because our flooring cost so much. Eventually, they have to give in and start taking losses, or they're going to be facing bankruptcy and closing their business totally, right? But the problem is it takes months for dealers or for banks to come to the realization that, oh my gosh, we need to start dropping prices. And that is already starting right now. Guys, I hope you got something out of this. I'm going to link below the story from the Real Estate Ninja about what's going on in real estate with sellers not leaving their homes after they sold the homes to investors. It's going to get ugly out there. All right, guys, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.